Is Blender really accurate enough for 3D printing? Let's find out. Now that I'm creating models for 3D printing, I needed a way to measure the accuracy of the STL files that Blender was exporting. The question I had in my mind was, how does the tolerance translate from a 3D package to the slicing software? Is a 0.1mm gap actually going to be a 0.1mm gap once it's printed? Here's the issue I have. The 3D software is going to output a path which is an accurate path to plot and print the model. But the nozzle is going to lay down a path 0.04mm wide. So it's actually going to be a little bit wider than the actual path. So the question I had was, if I have two parts, say an inner post and then another part to go around the outside of that post, how can I be sure this gap here is going to print as I require? I know Cura is going to handle it all in slicing, but I'm not sure how it's going to do it. If we look at these two objects I've got set up in Blender, imagine this is the plot path on the circle and this is the plot path on the square. Now, if we turn on a path that could represent the nozzle width for both objects, and I model my model with no gap or tolerance gap, and we lay those two plot paths over each other, you can see there's overlap. So does Cura compensate for that and design the part that way, or does Cura just go plot path to plot path and we end up with a 0.2mm overlap? I knew I couldn't go forward until I had fully worked out what to expect. I needed to devise a test to measure what was going to happen. So I created a little test model. I made 4 cylinders, each with varying tolerances. I started at 0.0 gap, no gap at all, 0.1, 0.2 and 0.4. So let's see how it went. Here's our post, and here's 0.4, pop it on. As you can see, there's plenty of play there. It's as expected. 0.2, it's getting tighter, but there's still plenty of play there. 0.1, it feels like 0.1mm gap. There's a bit of play there, but it's getting tighter. But the real test is 0mm. I want to see if this will actually go on to the post, or if it's a bit of play in there, or if it's too tight. This will be a test. Now I haven't cleaned these parts out. This is exactly how it came off the printer. Pushing it on, you can see it fits like a glove. That is absolutely perfect. There is basically no gap, but it still slides on. So if I push it down tight, it will hold all those other parts on. Well, yet again, the Cocoon Create Mini has delivered another high quality print. But if we look closely, it's not without its issues. Reading somewhere that printing with a thinner top and bottom to your model can alleviate warping and lifting. I printed this model with 3 layers, top and bottom, and it's come up with this interesting pattern in the actual top. Looking at the cube I printed in my last video, it's also exhibiting the same pattern. Initially thinking the problem occurred when I only had 3 layers for the top pass, I discovered the answer to my problem and came across a great resource at the same time. Looking at the Ultimaker website and going to their troubleshooting guide, I learnt what was occurring was something called pillowing, and I can see here that's what my model looks like. Now, according to this guide, the problem is caused by not enough cooling on the top layer of my print. I'm going to try and work out what's causing that, and I'm designing a little fan shroud to help direct the air onto the print. Once I believe I understand what's causing the problem and have a solution, I'll make a video in case you're having the same problem. So if you're trying to troubleshoot your prints, this is a great resource. It covers how to fix under extrusion, pillowing, stringing, and even warping. Well, that's about it for this video. I'll place a link in the description below to the test model if you want to try it for yourself. I'll also place a link to the Ultimaker website where you can check out that troubleshooting guides. I found it very, very useful. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found this information of use, and I'll see you in the next video.